Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live a good life by focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. When it comes to dealing with challenging interpersonal relationships, Stoicism offers timeless wisdom that can help us remain calm, centered, and effective. Here, I'll explore 10 key Stoic principles that can help you navigate difficult relationships with grace and resilience. We'll cover topics like understanding difficult people, practicing acceptance, cultivating mindfulness, developing empathy, setting boundaries, maintaining perspective, practicing self-care, responding with Stoic wisdom, cultivating inner peace, and embracing the power of Stoicism. 1. Understanding difficult people. We've all encountered someone who seems to make our lives harder, whether it's through constant criticism, negativity, or just being uncooperative. These people can frustrate us, drain our energy, and even make us doubt ourselves. But what if we could see these difficult people in a different light? What if we could understand why they act the way they do, and in turn, change how we respond to them? Difficult people often behave the way they do because of their own beliefs, experiences, and struggles. Maybe they've been hurt in the past, or they feel insecure, so they lash out or try to control others. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, Stoicism teaches us to view them as individuals who are simply reacting to the world in the only way they know how. According to Stoic philosophy, everyone acts based on their own understanding of the world. This understanding might be flawed or limited, but it's what drives their behavior. By recognizing this, we can start to detach from the emotional impact of their actions. Instead of taking their behavior personally, we can view it more objectively. Understanding difficult people doesn't mean we have to agree with or accept their behavior, but it does mean we can approach them with a sense of curiosity rather than frustration. Why do they act this way? What might be going on in their lives that we don't see? This shift in perspective helps us respond with empathy and patience rather than anger or resentment. In essence, by understanding that difficult people are often struggling with their own challenges, we can choose to respond in a way that preserves our peace and keeps us grounded no matter how they behave. 2. Practicing acceptance. When dealing with difficult people, one of the most important steps is learning to practice acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean that you agree with their behavior or that you like it. Instead, it's about acknowledging the reality of the situation without trying to fight it or change it. In Stoicism, there's a concept known as external events. These are things outside of our control, like other people's actions, words, and attitudes. The Stoics teach us that while we can't control how others behave, we can control how we respond to them. This is where acceptance comes in. Imagine you're dealing with a coworker who constantly criticizes your work. Naturally, this could make you feel upset or frustrated. But instead of letting those emotions take over, acceptance allows you to take a step back and recognize that their behavior is something you cannot change. What you can change, however, is your reaction. Acceptance doesn't mean you're giving up or that you don't care. It simply means you're choosing not to waste your energy on things you can't control. By accepting that this person may continue to be difficult, you free yourself from the constant stress of trying to fix them. Instead, you can focus on what you can control, your own thoughts, actions, and emotions. This mindset shift can be incredibly powerful. It helps you stay calm and composed, even in challenging situations. By accepting people as they are, you're not allowing their behavior to dictate your happiness or peace of mind. You're taking control of your own well-being, and that's a key aspect of practicing Stoicism in your everyday life. 3. Cultivating mindfulness. Mindfulness is a powerful tool that can help us navigate the challenges of dealing with difficult people. At its core, mindfulness is about staying present in the moment, fully aware of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. When we cultivate mindfulness, we give ourselves the ability to respond to situations thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Imagine you're in the middle of a tense conversation with someone who is being difficult. It's easy to let emotions like anger or frustration take over. But when you practice mindfulness, you create a small but crucial pause between what's happening and how you choose to respond. This pause allows you to assess the situation calmly and choose a response that aligns with your values. One way to cultivate mindfulness is through deep breathing. When you feel yourself getting upset, take a few slow, deep breaths. This simple act can help slow down your racing thoughts and bring you back to the present moment. By focusing on your breath, you can create space to think more clearly and avoid reacting in a way you might regret later. Another aspect of mindfulness is staying aware of your thoughts. Often, our minds can spiral into negative thinking when dealing with difficult people. Mindfulness encourages us to observe these thoughts without getting swept away by them. Instead of letting anger or frustration control you, notice these feelings, acknowledge them, and then let them pass. Practicing mindfulness regularly can also help you build resilience over time. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to remain calm and centered, even in stressful situations. By cultivating mindfulness, you empower yourself to handle difficult people with grace and composure, ensuring that their negativity doesn't disrupt your peace. Number 4. Developing empathy. When dealing with difficult people, one of the most effective tools we can use is empathy. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. It's about seeing the world through their eyes, even if their perspective is different from ours. While it may be challenging, developing empathy can transform how we interact with difficult people. Often, difficult behavior stems from underlying issues that we might not see. Maybe the person who's being rude or dismissive is going through a tough time, facing stress at work, or dealing with personal struggles. By taking a moment to consider what might be going on in their life, we can shift from feeling angry or frustrated to feeling compassion and understanding. The Stoics believed that everyone is doing the best they can with the knowledge and resources they have. When someone is difficult, it's often because they're struggling with their own challenges. By developing empathy, we can start to see them not just as a problem to be dealt with, but as a person who is navigating their own hardships. This doesn't mean we have to tolerate bad behavior or let others walk all over us. But by approaching difficult people with empathy, we can reduce the negative emotions that might otherwise dominate our interactions. Instead of reacting with frustration, we can respond with patience and kindness. To develop empathy, try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Ask yourself, what might they be feeling? What challenges might they be facing? This simple exercise can help you build a connection with them, even if their behavior is challenging. Ultimately, empathy allows us to handle difficult people with more grace. It helps us respond from a place of understanding rather than judgment, leading to more positive and constructive interactions. Number 5. Setting boundaries. When dealing with difficult people, setting boundaries is essential. Boundaries are the limits we set to protect our well-being and ensure that our interactions with others are respectful and healthy. Without clear boundaries, we risk letting others' negative behavior affect our emotional and mental health. Setting boundaries doesn't mean shutting people out or being harsh. It's about clearly communicating what is acceptable to you and what isn't. For example, if someone frequently interrupts or speaks to you in a disrespectful manner, you can set a boundary by calmly letting them know that this behavior isn't okay. You might say, "I appreciate your input, but I need to finish my thoughts before you respond," or "I'm happy to discuss this, but let's keep the conversation respectful." Boundaries are not just about what we say, they're also about what we do. If someone continues to ignore your boundaries, it's important to follow through with appropriate actions. This might mean limiting your interactions with them or taking a step back from the relationship to protect your peace of mind. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, and setting boundaries is a powerful way to do just that. We can't control how others behave, but we can control how we respond and what we're willing to tolerate. By setting clear boundaries, we take responsibility for our own well-being and ensure that we're not letting others' difficult behavior dictate our lives. Setting boundaries can be challenging, especially if you're not used to asserting yourself. But remember, boundaries are an act of self-respect. They help you maintain your dignity and inner peace, even when dealing with difficult people. Over time, with practice, setting boundaries becomes easier and more natural, empowering you to navigate challenging situations with confidence. Number 6. Maintaining perspective. When dealing with difficult people, it's easy to get caught up in the moment and let their behavior overwhelm us. However, maintaining perspective is key to handling these situations with calm and clarity. Perspective allows us to see the bigger picture, helping us avoid getting stuck in the details of a single unpleasant interaction. The Stoics taught that life is full of challenges, and difficult people are just one of them. By keeping a broad perspective, we can remind ourselves that one person's actions are only a small part of our overall experience. Instead of focusing on how irritating or upsetting someone's behavior might be, we can step back and ask ourselves, will this matter a week, a month, or even a year from now? Often, the answer is no. This realization can help us avoid overreacting and keep our emotions in check. Another way to maintain perspective is to consider the other person's point of view. While their behavior may be difficult, it's likely that they're dealing with their own struggles and challenges. By acknowledging this, we can reduce the impact their actions have on us. This doesn't mean excusing bad behavior, but it does help us avoid taking it personally. Perspective also helps us focus on what we can control. We can't change how others act, but we can choose how we respond. By keeping our focus on our own behavior and mindset, we can navigate difficult situations more effectively. Finally, maintaining perspective allows us to prioritize our energy. Instead of wasting time and emotional resources on someone else's negativity, we can focus on what truly matters in our lives. This shift in focus helps us stay grounded, ensuring that difficult people don't have more influence over our happiness and well-being than they deserve. Number 7. Practicing self-care. When dealing with difficult people, it's easy to become drained, both emotionally and physically. This is why practicing self-care is essential. Self-care isn't just about pampering yourself, it's about taking the necessary steps to maintain your overall well-being so that you can handle challenges more effectively. First, let's talk about emotional self-care. Interacting with difficult people can stir up a range of emotions, from frustration to sadness. It's important to acknowledge these feelings rather than suppress them. Take time to reflect on your emotions perhaps through journaling or talking with a trusted friend. By processing your feelings, you prevent them from building up and causing unnecessary stress. Physical self-care is equally important. Stress from difficult interactions can take a toll on your body, leading to tension, fatigue, and even illness. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and sufficient sleep are crucial in keeping your body strong and resilient. Even simple activities like taking a walk, stretching, or practicing deep breathing can help release tension and restore your energy. Mental self-care involves setting aside time to relax and recharge your mind. This could mean engaging in hobbies you enjoy, reading a good book, or simply spending time in nature. Activities that bring you joy and relaxation help clear your mind and prepare you to face difficult people with renewed patience and calmness. Stoicism teaches us that we cannot control other people, but we can control how we take care of ourselves. By prioritizing self-care, we ensure that we have the strength and clarity needed to handle challenging situations. Self-care isn't selfish. It's a necessary practice that allows us to show up as our best selves, even in the face of adversity. Taking care of yourself is the foundation for managing difficult people with grace and resilience. Number 8. Responding with Stoic wisdom. When faced with difficult people, it's tempting to react impulsively, letting emotions like anger or frustration take the lead. However, Stoic wisdom teaches us a different approach, one that involves responding thoughtfully and with intention. By applying Stoic principles, we can manage our reactions and maintain our inner peace, no matter how challenging the situation. One powerful Stoic technique is negative visualization. This involves imagining the worst-case scenario before it happens. For example, if you're dealing with someone who constantly criticizes you, picture them doing so before you interact with them. By mentally preparing yourself, their actual behavior won't catch you off guard, and you'll be less likely to react emotionally. Instead, you can stay calm and respond with composure. Another Stoic practice is negative practice. This is where you deliberately expose yourself to minor irritations or discomforts to build resilience. For instance, if you know that a particular person's behavior tends to annoy you, try to endure small annoyances in your daily life without reacting. This could be as simple as waiting in a long line or dealing with a minor inconvenience. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to remain calm when faced with more significant challenges. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of focusing on what you can control. You can't control how someone else behaves, but you can control your response. Instead of letting their actions dictate your emotions, choose to respond in a way that aligns with your values. This might mean calmly addressing their behavior, walking away, or choosing not to engage at all. By responding with Stoic wisdom, you protect your inner peace and avoid getting drawn into unnecessary conflict. You become more resilient, able to handle difficult people with grace and dignity, rather than letting their negativity affect you. This thoughtful, controlled approach not only helps you maintain your composure, but also sets a positive example for others. Number 9. Cultivating inner peace. Dealing with difficult people can often disturb our sense of inner peace, leaving us feeling unsettled or stressed. However, Stoic philosophy teaches that true peace comes from within, and it is something we can cultivate regardless of external circumstances. By focusing on our inner peace, we can navigate interactions with difficult people more calmly and effectively. Inner peace begins with self-awareness. It's about understanding what triggers your emotions and learning how to manage them. When someone's behavior upsets you, take a moment to pause and breathe. Instead of reacting immediately, reflect on why you're feeling this way. Is it something they said or did? Or is it a deeper insecurity or fear that's being stirred up? By identifying the root cause of your emotions, you gain control over them and prevent them from spiraling out of control. Another way to cultivate inner peace is through the practice of letting go. Difficult people often say or do things that can hurt or anger us. However, holding on to these negative feelings only disrupts our peace. Stoicism teaches us to accept things as they are and not to dwell on what we cannot change. This doesn't mean ignoring bad behavior, but rather choosing not to let it affect our inner tranquility. By letting go of grudges, resentment, and frustration, we free ourselves from the emotional burden they create. Meditation and mindfulness practices are also effective tools for cultivating inner peace. Spending even a few minutes each day in quiet reflection can help calm your mind and center your thoughts. These practices allow you to step back from the chaos of daily life and reconnect with your inner self, making it easier to stay grounded when dealing with difficult people. Ultimately, cultivating inner peace empowers you to respond to difficult situations with calm and clarity. It protects your well-being, ensuring that external challenges don't shake your core stability. With inner peace, you become more resilient, better equipped to handle whatever life and difficult people throw your way. Number 10. The power of Stoicism. Stoicism is more than just a philosophy. It's a practical guide for living a peaceful and fulfilling life, especially when dealing with difficult people. The power of Stoicism lies in its ability to shift our mindset, helping us see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. By applying Stoic principles, we can transform our interactions with difficult people into valuable learning experiences. One of the key benefits of Stoicism is that it teaches us to focus on what we can control. When faced with someone who is rude, demanding, or unreasonable, it's easy to feel powerless. But Stoicism reminds us that while we can't control their behavior, we can control our response. This simple but profound shift in focus empowers us to act with intention rather than react out of emotion. Stoicism also encourages us to practice virtues like patience, empathy, and humility. When dealing with difficult people, these virtues become our tools for maintaining inner peace. Patience helps us remain calm, even when others are not. Empathy allows us to understand their perspective, reducing our frustration. Humility reminds us that we too are imperfect and that everyone is on their own journey. Furthermore, Stoicism helps us build resilience. Life is full of challenges, and difficult people are just one of them. By practicing Stoic principles regularly, we become more resilient to these challenges. We learn to navigate them with grace, turning obstacles into opportunities to strengthen our character. In the end, the power of Stoicism lies in its ability to help us live better lives. By embracing Stoic wisdom, we not only improve our relationships with others, but also cultivate a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment within ourselves. Stoicism gives us the tools to handle life's difficulties with confidence, wisdom, and serenity, making us stronger and more compassionate individuals. If you found these Stoic principles helpful, I encourage you to start applying them in your own life. Dealing with difficult people is never easy, but with the right mindset and tools, you can navigate these challenges with grace and confidence. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Remember, you have the power to choose your response, no matter how difficult the situation. Embrace Stoicism, and you'll find that dealing with difficult people becomes less of a burden and more of an opportunity for growth. Thank you for watching, and I hope these insights help you on your journey toward greater peace and resilience.